your battle with alcohol in the past, Mick, and something you haven't taken a drink in years, and that's to be very much admired, Mick. But it's something I suppose that did cause you trouble at the time.
Yeah, well, I suppose really, like when I started playing the pubs in '74, it was so easy to stay on afterwards and so easy to get drink, and that kind of developed into, I became sort of an alcoholic, not a sort of one, but I was an alcoholic at the end of it all, and I still am an alcoholic. But it was being around drink all the time, and now I can be around drink, but it doesn't bother me at all, because you go into a place and it's work now, but 36 years ago, last February, that's when I had the last drink.
Well, fair play to you, Mick.
Yeah, it's been a long road, but it's been a great life without it. For me, it's a great life, and for Mary, my wife, and family, and that, because when there's somebody drinking heavy in a house, it's just pure hell. And the only people that I would say that ever really helped me a lot, well, my own GP was a great help to me, but the people in AA were the ones that sort of helped me a lot,
Yeah.
And they always would say to you, this door swings both ways. You can come in, if you don't like what's going on, you can leave as well. But you'd always pick up something good from somebody talking on the night, and they were the ones, even though you might have been there for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months, and then suddenly you have a slip, and they still welcome you back in, and they're the people that I really got so much help from. And but I do try to help people myself. If somebody, there was one particular man there. I was drawing stone out of this old quarry with an old pickup I have, and I won't tell you the full details of it, but I'll just tell you, he was drinking terrible, this man, and I just said to him, would you not consider going to AA, and I'll come in with you some night, or even for a couple of nights? And he said, yeah, well, would you come in with me? And I said, I will. And I came in and I spoke about my addiction and how hard it was to stop it, and I just said, there's a good friend of mine here tonight, and he wants to just tell his story. And that's been I think it's about maybe 4 or 5 years now, he hasn't had a drink.
Oh, well, fair play to you. So not only did you help yourself,
I mean, it's nice to be able to help somebody, to stay off it. And sure, look, that's what we're here in this world for, isn't it? To help each other,
That's right, Mick. And, what was the turning point for you, do you think, when the moment, I know because you went on the road with the band, but before that, when you were drinking heavy after gigs, when you were playing in pubs, what was the turning point for you?
Well, to be honest with you, the turning point for me was coming home. Well, I suppose I was, in a way, my 2 boys, I only have 2 sons, and the 2 of them were born deaf, and they were away in school. And then Mary would be there on her own, and then I wouldn't come home till God knows what time of the night, and she got kind of, and in the end, she just got fed up with the whole thing and she left, and I remember coming home this particular night and nobody in the house, and I'll tell you one thing, I wasn't too long about getting sober, and coming into a really miserable, cold, dark house, nobody there, nobody to ask you how you are, how do you feel, and I just put my mind down to it, and I said, if it's the last thing I ever do in this world, I'm going to stop drinking. And I made up my mind then, and as I said, I spent 7 weeks in Mullingar, in the hospital in Mullingar, and I came out of it, and I went to this aftercare every Wednesday night in Longford for 2 years, and then bit by bit, I got a sponsor then, and if I wasn't feeling, if I felt like I was going to go back on the drink, I would ring this person, they called them a sponsor, and they would talk to me, and I would go and meet them, or they might come to see me, and just like the song, one day at a time, just take it today, I'm not going to drink today, with the help of God, I won't drink today, and that's the way, and then as the days and the weeks and the years go by, then it gets easier,
Yeah, well, fair play to you, Mike, because that's a great story, because, to hear a positive side to it, and I knew that there had to be some kind of turning point, and I remember your wife actually saying, I think it was on Late Late Show, she said that there was 3 people in your relationship. Right. Arthur Guinness was along with it, That's
right. Arthur Guinness, me, and that was it, and herself, Oh yeah, but it's when it gets a grip on you, it's terrible, you know. And the thing about it was, like, I wouldn't buy laces for my boots, like, you know, that's the truth. That's how far I was gone, you know. And there's a lot of people out there can identify with that, you know.
Yeah.
And even now it's worse because a lot of people take drugs as well, which is terrible, you know, which is terrible too, you know.
I suppose no addiction's easy, but that's all I can say, Mick, is fair play to you for turning yourself around.
I wouldn't be talking to you today if I hadn't stopped drinking. I'd be dead now long ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something to be admired, Mick.
Yeah.